Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and today I'm going to start making a new altered book. Or a new altered whatever this thing is. I got it at a secondhand shop in Genoa in Italy last March, and I don't read Italian. But I'm pretty sure it says something like a written certificate of pension, which means it's some kind of record of this guy's retirement payments. This guy being Signor Rossi Sebastiano. It starts in 1912, and the stamps carry on until 1928. It's pretty dinged up, but I knew the second I saw it that I had to have it and make something different from it to transform it. And that's what I'm going to do today, except I don't really have an idea for this video. I don't have a lesson to go with this. Instead, what I'm going to do is just make pages. I'm going to start making pages, dip in, get going, and talk about them a little bit, and that's it. That's today's video. If you like it, please join me. If you like altered books, vintage books and paper, and journal arts, please join my YouTube channel and be sure and turn on the notifications. And you'll know when I post a new video, and you will have more of them in your life. Now, let's go alter a bank book. Usually when I make a video for here on YouTube, I'm always delighted when people say that it sounds natural. But in fact, I usually spend a couple of days preparing and then at least a day filming and editing and whatnot. A 12-minute video takes at least 7 hours to film and get up. Today, I haven't really done much of that. The only thing I did was spend a couple of hours yesterday getting these images together that I'm going to be using in the book. Or maybe I'm going to be using. We'll see. Oh, you know what? That's not quite true. I did spend some time making scans, printable scans of this bank book. They are free and they are on my website. So if you would like something like this to work on yourself or to just add in your own mixed media projects, I've got the link in the text box below. Go get them. I have this ticket from an exposition in 1900 in Paris, and I really thought I was going to start off my first layout with this, with a boom, a lot of oomph. But the thing is, if I do that, it's going to cover up this pretty handwritten element. I don't want to do that. So I've got the smaller version. It's like a ticket stub that went with it. And I love how the blue-green color in the certificate really matches the blue-green color in the cover of the bank book. So it also has a nice balance. Both sides have a lot of ornate text, a lot going on, but both are quite different and they complement each other. I'm going to glue that down and be right back. Something I found when I was looking for potential elements of these layouts is that with all of this stamping, all of this black and white, you need something very robust indeed. Something that is not too fiddly with too many moving parts and that has a lot of robust oomph to it. Like this guy. He's from an old field guide from around 1911 of birds. And see, just an old book. And unfortunately, oops, I'm going to have to put that back together. That lets a lot of that pretty text show through. Over here, again, it's a little tricky finding something to go with all of this. I have this book of flowers, and these are very robust images with a lot of pop. And these are from a book called Mr. Marshall's Flower Book. I use these all the time. I buy one online on eBay secondhand, and when it's all used up, I buy another one. Now, any of these would have really made this pop. But when I was flipping through, I found this one. And I love the way that it's turning inwards. So that now these two elements are engaging with each other. And again, it still leaves a lot, that's a lot show through. And that looks really good. I was going to show you how this little bird does not work in this layout. And then I decided that he really does work in this layout. And I don't know, sometimes you have to let a page talk to you, and I just know that I'm happier with him than without him. So I'm going to glue these down and be right back. We have not got to the mad stamping yet, still on the signature pages, and this clearly was where a photograph would have gone of Signor Rossi Sebastiano. I like that it gives me a little frame to work with here. I like this a lot. I like how it's got those blue-green colors and her gaze is going this way, taking your eye across both pages. But I am going to be using holy cards throughout this book, and I don't want it to skew too much in that direction. So maybe later. This is something I've been saving for a special book. It's a tin type, and it's from the 1860s, and you can't tell very well, but his cheeks have actually been hand-tinted. They're a light pink color. And he suits this very well. I could just leave that as the layout. It's telling a lot of stories. That's a strong maybe. Over here, I have, these are collectible cards. They're French. And I have them in insects and animals and flowers. You can see they fit this space very nicely, and they do bring some color to a book that's already going to be black and white heavy. But if I'm going to do that, I'm thinking about this one because, again, you've got those blue and green and teal colors that we've already started with. And I like that it's vertical, going up and down, up and down. So let's see. Over here, I'm thinking about some different ladies. Okay. All the ladies are from La Mode Illustrée, and that is a French fashion magazine from the 1870s and 80s. And I do sell these in the ephemera bundle boxes. She's reading a letter or looking at a photograph. And I think that I like how she's winsome and delicate. And that goes very well with this flower. That's a good layout. And she's leaning into this side of the page. The problem is, it's not even a problem, is that this book is going to be black and white heavy. And I think it would be nice to use the blue-greens and the colors throughout the book from maybe every 2 or 3 pages to keep that theme going rather than to front load the whole book with all of my blue and green images. So I'm going to put that aside. We will come back to it. Instead, how about this? She is Miss Wales, and this is an old 19th century cigarette card. Ogden's Guinea Gold cigarettes. And she fits this frame nicely. And she really looks like she's just about to say something funny to one of these ladies. Now, they're clearly in a theater box. You've got the opera glasses here and the fans, the gloves. There's a lot going on here with them. And I just get the impression that if these two and she got together, I would want to be listening in on that conversation. Going with this. Another thing I like about this is that even though they have two different styles of fashion and of demeanor, she's got a feathered fan and she's wearing a feather wrap. And that connects these two disparate elements and also, very subtle way, draws the eye across both pages. So that helps the viewer to see one layout instead of page. I've added some found text. The fairies, very inquisitive, peeked and pried around, as they will. And what I have done here is I have this children's book that I got at a flea market for about, I think it was £1, maybe $2. And I love that it has this super big text. And you can see I use it all the time for creating found captions. So keep your eye out for inexpensive books with a large font, and then you can play around and come up with a lot of good captions and found poetry. Over here, it's pretty boring, so I'm going to add a lot of flower, a big hydrangea. It's just going to fill up the whole page, but show a little text underneath. I am using vintage flowers from an old book, but I just want to say about finding pieces like this. You don't have to have vintage flowers. You can go into your thrift store, to your library book sale, and look around for old coffee table books about gardening or nature. You can also use gardening magazines or bird watching magazines. And that's how you can find a lot of really pretty images, even if you don't live where you can find old books. And I love how it's really bold, even though the color is dusty. And this is a lovely bell from an old book from the 1865-ish. I kind of look, it makes me smile how she's not amused. What is her problem? But we're going to gussy her up a little bit with some wings. And I've gone through the box of wings, the box of butterflies, and I have found some that pick up that pink color. Again, it's very subtle, but it draws the eye across, and it softens this image a little bit. I also have this other pink one that I was thinking of using, but I couldn't make it go, so I think I'm just going to add it here. And so now we've got wings, pink, pink, pink. I'm going to glue that down. That turned out well, because now this butterfly is actually in her eye line. So it has softened the image because it's as if she is looking wistfully at this butterfly. So we have pink, 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 wings, and they're engaged with each other. That is enough for today. What I'm going to do is during the next couple of weeks, I will be dipping into this book and adding a page or two at a time. And I'll be filming that and to show how the book builds up layer by layer. If you have any feedback, any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I love to compare notes. Also, check out the text box below this video where I have links to the free printables of this book, as well as some black and white birds that you can then use in your own work. Also, please check out the link to my online classes, including how to alter a child's board book, how to alter a board book. Until later, happy making.